everyone, Darkside Phil here, and welcome to a channel update. The first channel update in a long-ass time. Today is Sunday, August 25th, 2013, and you may be saying to yourself, gee, Phil hasn't done a channel update per se in a long-ass time. What gives? What's going on that Phil's doing one? Well, the bottom line is this: as of today, as of right now, I am considered on vacation or holiday, or whatever you call it in your region, okay? And I'm taking basically a week to have fun, relax, to stop worrying about, stressing out about, you know, my channel and my streaming and all kinds of stuff like that. I am going to Chicago this week with my girlfriend Panda Lee to celebrate her birthday, and we have lots of activities and stuff planned. And so what this means essentially for you is, as a viewer, that I want to update you on what's going to be going on this week, okay? There's still going to be videos for a few days. There's still going to be vlog videos daily, but also in this video, I want to talk a little bit about some stuff that's happened this week regarding Gamescom, which is the European, basically, version of E3, where all kinds of gaming news and stuff is discussed. There was some major news that came out of Gamescom, okay, that I want to discuss. Excuse me, including the release date of the PS4 and how that's going to affect myself and my work, okay? And also I do want to address YouTube issues this week. There have been plenty of YouTube issues this week, and I want to discuss them because some people are confused, some people are wondering what exactly is going on in regards to a few things, so I want to discuss that as well. So basically, like most channel updates, this is a cumulative video where I'm going to be discussing a wide variety of topics, and I hope that you will, bear with me. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I'm covering it in a relatively short period of time, okay? By the way, I'm not live streaming this video. It's the first video in a while I'm not live streaming because I just didn't want to set all the equipment up. I actually cleaned up a little bit in anticipation of my girlfriend arriving. She's actually going to arrive in roughly 1 hour's time. So this video, I'm just using the old camera. I'm going to throw it into my video editor, and then I'm just going to upload it to the King of Hate Vlogs. So I hope that if you're watching this, and you'll spread the word about it, because I don't know if everyone's going to know. I'm going to tweet, obviously, about it, but not everyone obviously watches the videos on the King of Hate Vlogs, and I do want everyone, including everyone watching this stuff on DSP Gaming, to be informed on what exactly is going on, okay? So first, let's talk about what to expect in the next few days, okay? Gameplay-wise, today on DSP Gaming, you're going to see the continuation of Saints Row 4, as well as the continuation of Splinter Cell Blacklist. So both of those playthroughs will continue on DSP Gaming. I believe it's about 13 parts of each are going to be going live, okay? Tomorrow, Monday, you're going to see the conclusion of Saints Row 4, paired with a forgotten playthrough. And when I say that, I mean there is a series of videos. It's very short, by the way, but it is a series of videos of a game that I played with John Rambo co-op months ago. I believe it was very close to when I had first started doing direct capture, and we were messing around with certain stuff. We wanted to see if we can get emulators to work with direct capture, probably in anticipation of the Summer of Retro, which I did later on. And we did a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. It was actually a game never released in the United States, so I had never had the opportunity to play it. It was the very last side-scrolling beat-em-up game that Capcom ever released in arcades, alright? And they had a long history of doing these kind of games, but this is the very last one they ever did, alright? It's called Battle Circuit. It's a very quirky, odd game, and John and I played it, and so that's going to be going up on Monday on DSP Gaming. Keep in mind the conclusion of Saints Row 4, very entertaining. People who watched it on the live stream a couple days ago said it was extremely good. Don't miss it. Saints Row 4, I have to say, of recent months, the games that I've been putting out obviously haven't been popular per se. Between me playing retro games, JRPGs and such, I think people have been waiting for me to get back into the mainstream games, and it seems that Saints Row 4 is the game that everyone's saying, wow, Phil's really did a good job with this one. It's very entertaining. I'm getting nothing but compliments on the playthrough, so definitely check it out if you haven't yet. I understand if maybe you live in Europe and you just got the game on Friday and you're still playing through it, but don't miss the playthrough. I think that between my character She-Bulk, which I think was really well done, some of the crazy stuff that happens in the game, just nudity, like unexpected nudity happening with crotch shots of She-Bulk. Of course, it's censored, of course, but just crazy stuff happening. The game's really good. Don't miss it. If you're not going to play, let me put it this way: if you're not going to buy the game, because I'm saving for Grand Theft Auto 5, completely understandable, but don't miss the playthrough because the game is that good. You don't want to miss it. It's a lot of entertaining fun, okay? And then on Tuesday on DSP Gaming, you'll see the conclusion of Splinter Cell Blacklist, which, by the way, a game I enjoyed thoroughly. I think that the series is very well done. There are a couple difficult parts, but they're difficult because they're meant to be. You're supposed to be using trial and error to figure out what's going to happen in the game, what's going to happen, who's around the next corner, etc. There's a lot of times in the game when you don't have your goggles, or your goggles are blocked or jammed, and that's because it's supposed to be trial and error where you figure out what to do. And I like the fact that there's multiple ways to do stuff. There's multiple orders you can do things on certain stages. I did fail, but I didn't fail as much as I thought I would. A lot of people thought it was going to be just like epic fail after epic fail. And I didn't actually fail that much. I was learning from my mistakes, and I was having fun with it. Yes, I was getting frustrated, but not to the point where I was like going nuts, raging. I think the game was really well done. I definitely enjoyed it. It's a little bit unfortunate because I think a lot of people watch it to a point and they see me rage once. Oh, that's it. Phil raged, that's it. I'm not going to watch it anymore because it's just going to be epic fail after epic fail. And it wasn't, actually. In actuality, I actually enjoyed the game a lot. And I wish more people would give it a chance, but it is what it is. Check out the playthrough if you like that sneaking type of game. I definitely enjoyed it, okay? And then on Tuesday, after Splinter Cell concludes, there's going to be another playthrough from actually this past Saturday when John Rambo visited for co-op. We played the very first game that Angus Chang ever created. So we're talking Baller Industries, the same guy who made Fantastic Fivesome. We just played Tokyo Hosto a few weeks ago. We wanted to check out his original game, what got everything started. And we played this game called Get Rich or Die Gaming. Definitely a unique game because it's about drug dealing. And we were like, huh? We were kind of like, what the hell? But you can see as you play the game how that game kind of, it's the roots of everything else that Angus has ever done. Angus, by the way, was a guest on John Rambo's The Show podcast this past week. So if you didn't see it, it's probably one of the best ones in a while because it actually has a guest who has a lot of cool information about the gaming industry, the indie gaming industry, XBLA and stuff like that. So, or XBNA, I think it's called. So definitely check it out, okay, if you haven't. It's definitely good, and that's playthroughs coming up on Tuesday. And that's when the gameplay is going to end. That's all pretty much the videos that I've accumulated to be uploading over the course of this week. So for the rest of the week, you're not going to see any new gameplay. I am more than likely going to be returning to live streaming a new gameplay on Saturday of next week. So that would be, let's see, August 5th, 26th, 27th, 30th, 31st, 30th plus September, April, June, and November. So I guess August 31st, if there is a 31st of August, I think there's a 31st of August. That'll be Saturday for a late stream, a late night stream, because my girlfriend will be going on later on that day. When I get home, I'll probably want to be craving gaming again. I'm probably going to be jumping into XCOM, or let me call it The Bureau XCOM Declassified, which is a game that a lot of people are enjoying, but other people are not getting. The game really reminds me of like an old school sci-fi movie combined with the gameplay of, say, Mass Effect, but with a more strategy-based feel to it. I actually am enjoying the game so far, although quite admittedly it is a slow-paced game. Some people are getting it and some people are not. So, but I'm going to continue playing it. So that's going to continue, again, probably that Saturday. So what this means, no live streams this week at all. I'll be busy, I'll be on vacation in Chicago. But what this does mean is that during the course of the week, while I'm in Chicago starting tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to be at least attempting to uploading vlog-style videos to the King of Hate Vlogs here daily. So tomorrow you'll probably have a little bit of travel vlogs, you'll have our hotel room, maybe we'll talk about what we ate, etc. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll be heavily into the city, we'll be doing all kinds of events and stuff that we'll be covering. And then Friday we're going to be returning back here. So that's just the rough idea of what to expect coming up this week with vlog videos on the King of Hate Vlogs, all kinds of coverage of our trip to Chicago. And it's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope that people will enjoy that. And you know, it's funny because some people say, oh Phil, aren't you afraid about talking about when you're going on vacation because someone could break in? Well, there's two things I can say to that. Number one, I live in a condo facility. The condo facility does not just allow people to walk in and out, and it would be near impossible for someone to rob this place without someone noticing because there's constantly people all around it, including, by the way, a state cop who works here. So if any asshole actually tried to rob one of these places, they'd be pretty hard up to try to get by someone and have someone not notice. And number two, I actually have people come by and check the unit a couple times during the week, my parents who live nearby, so it would be pretty stupid for someone to try to do something like that. So I guess there was some rumor, or not rumor, but there was a story of there was some popular YouTuber who mentioned he was going on vacation, his house got robbed when he was gone. That's unfortunate. I mean, wow, someone found out where he lived and robbed the poor fucking guy. I mean, that's ridiculous. But no, I'm pretty much safe here. Like I said, that's the advantage of living in a closed-door condo facility. You can't even get to my unit without bypassing security. There's cameras everywhere, so I'm not worried about it, okay? Alright, so that's what to expect schedule-wise this coming week, alright? Now, I do want to talk a little bit about YouTube, some problems that there have been on YouTube over the past week, and apparently what I've discovered, an algorithm change that's actually added to a lot of changes on YouTube, and oh no, in this segment I'm going to be talking about views. So if you're so fucking offended when a YouTuber talks about views because you think it's all about money, which it's not, I'm actually talking about this because people have been asking me about this past week frequently. Skip ahead. I don't know what else to say. Skip ahead to a portion of the video. You know, just keep going until you don't hear me talking about this. I am going to be talking about Gamescom a lot in this video, and I have a lot of opinions on Gamescom, okay? But there's two things that I noticed this past week. First of all, traditionally on my channel DSP Gaming on YouTube, alright, I noticed that it got a shit ton of views of a certain video called Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions Part 1. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you remember back on my Dark Side Phil channel, I had a video which was the very last part of Spider-Man Web of Shadows. That video got millions upon millions of views over the course of my Dark Side Phil channel existing. And so when I played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions a year or two later, the next Spider-Man game that was released, I said, gee, I wonder how this one will do, and this one was on DSP Gaming. So I put the video out, and just like any other playthrough, did exactly the normal stuff that I do. For whatever reason, this video, month after month, got a ridiculous amount of views. And I don't know why. I'm assuming that somehow it was getting featured on like the most viewed gaming video, you know, views of all time or something like that. Somehow it was getting prominently featured somewhere, whether it was in a search engine or if it was on a featured page, and it always got a ridiculous amount of views every single month. All of a sudden, this past few months, I realized, and I really didn't realize it until this week, I started looking at statistics and stuff. As of April of 2013, the video no longer gets that kind of views anymore, alright? So obviously what this is showing is that in April of this year, YouTube changed something critical in their search engines and the way that videos get featured, that video no longer got featured. And as of May, June, July, and even now August, that video no longer shows up in my top viewed videos of the month anymore. So something critical was changed behind the scenes on YouTube starting in April that has changed the way that videos are featured and viewed on YouTube. And quite honestly, I think this goes hand in hand with the fact that people have been saying, gee, it's so weird. I go on YouTube and I search for a video and I can't find anything related to what I searched. All I see are videos that are related to top people. Top, you know, you go in there and you type in, I don't know, not Spider-Man, but let's say something like, what's a recent game that came out? DuckTales or Saints Row or whatever the newest game is, and you won't necessarily see videos that are even related directly to what you typed in. What you'll see are videos from top YouTubers. And a lot of people are saying the search function on YouTube is becoming almost worthless. They're trying to find content, so you'll type in, I don't know, Saints Row 4 DSP Gaming, and you'll get videos from the top YouTubers, and then finally 2-3 pages in, then you'll finally see content from that person. And it's like, what the fuck? And I'm not just saying it's me, I'm saying everyone's saying this, that the YouTube search functionality has basically been destroyed by YouTube because what they're trying to do is get their top guys featured and that's it. And that's unfortunate if you're not a top guy, which I'm not, which most of you are not, okay? People who are trying to make, you know, their hobby get some views. You know, you're putting out content of popular video games, things that you like, and you're trying to get featured, you're trying to get noticed, you're trying to get attention for your hard work, and YouTube has changed something in their search algorithm. Now for me, like I said, personally, I don't know if that Spider-Man video was in a search engine, it was showing up every time someone typed in Spider-Man. I don't know if like on a games featured videos page it was on there, but as of April it's no longer there. So for me, there was always this one video that gave me a nice little view boost every month, and I'm not getting that anymore. Pair that with the fact that as of April, or what was it, April or May, when YouTube changed over to this new one-channel format, and there's no more featured video that autoplays, so there's another place where everyone was getting views, and it's gone, alright? So all these basically anti-user features that YouTube has been instituting over the past several months, and it's very unfortunate because people, got used to having certain things around. YouTube changes it with no benefit to anyone. Like, who benefited from the one channel change? Have you seen anyone come and go, wow, I'm so happy now because YouTube works so well on my mobile device? No, in fact, since one channel has changed, more people are complaining, saying that YouTube videos won't even play on their mobile devices anymore. So what the fuck kind of sweeping, amazing change did YouTube institute to improve their... They didn't improve anything. They fucked up their website. They made views dramatically drop, and since the one channel change, more people are complaining that the mobile versions of YouTube don't work as well. So I don't know what the fuck they were. They basically completely crippled people's businesses for no reason and no benefit, and I'm tired of YouTube doing this, and it's to the point where it's like, what the fuck is the problem with YouTube, alright? But just the icing on the cake, which I want to address this week because it makes no logical sense whatsoever, okay? This week, there were 3 new major retail releases. Everyone knows it. It was Saints Row 4, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and the Bureau XCOM Declassified. Now, admittedly, a week when 3 major games are coming out at once, you would expect that certain people are going to pick and choose what they want to watch. They're going to be watching, one or the other, or maybe they'll watch one video of each and then make up their mind which one is the playthrough that they want to watch. Perfectly understandable, okay? But for a week when there's 3 new retail releases, these are games that were hyped, that were talked about for quite a long time, something's fishy. And the reason I say that, and again, I want people to understand I'm not complaining because this week overall has been pretty good in regards to overall on YouTube, alright? People, every time I talk about stuff like this, people say, oh, he's bitching about views. It's funny, because I used to mention this stuff all the time before I made money on YouTube, and people were like, wow, Phil, thanks for alerting us to this issue. It's really nice to know that someone's watching out for us and can tell us about it. Now when I mention it, oh, Phil, all you care about is views, and that's why you're mentioning it. No, it's bullshit, and I'm tired of the negativity, and that's why I pretty much, I'm not addressing it anymore. But understand, I'm doing this as a public service, something that I've observed this past week, okay? So I put out 3 playthroughs. I put out playthroughs of each of the new retail games. And my question is this. So all summer, I was playing retro games. Understandable. All summer, I was playing games that probably most people weren't, oh, this isn't a mainstream game. I'm really not liking it that much. I'm not going to watch it. Okay, understandable. Completely understand that. How is it that this week, I finally started playing retail games, new retail games. So you know that especially with a lot of these games, people aren't going to buy them because a lot of people are saving their money for Grand Theft Auto 5 later this month. A lot of people are going to say, okay, I want to check out this playthrough because I want to see if this game's any good. I've heard a lot about it, but there's so many games coming out right now, I need to see a playthrough of it, at least a couple parts, to see if it's something that I'm interested in. So you're going to tell me that in a week with 3 major retail releases, alright? 2 of them, and I mean Splinter Cell Blacklist and the Bureau. Part 1 of my playthroughs either just hit, in the case of Splinter Cell, or didn't even ever hit 10,000 total views. That's unheard of for a retail game, alright? The games that I played this summer, the retro games, a game that's very, very dividing, like Tales of Exilia, that not a lot of people like JRPGs. Hell, even Dragon's Crown, a game that most people complained was extremely boring because it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. Those games got 10,000 views in part 1, or more than 10,000 views. Actually, in most cases, most of them did get more than 10,000 views. How are you going to tell me they did, but the new retail games that people have been waiting for didn't? And I'll be honest, compared to other playthroughs, the views on my videos this week, in particular, just don't seem to jive. They don't seem to make sense, okay? Now, I could be completely off base here. Maybe there's something that happened, maybe because people are going back to school, and they just don't have time to watch the videos. I don't know. What I can tell you is this. My subscriptions were high this week. They were up, way up, okay? My number of likes, my number of dislikes, comments on the videos were pretty much typical and indicative of a new playthrough. So everything that I can track looked good and positive, yet you're telling me that the views aren't that hot on at least 2 out of the 3 games I played this week. It makes 0 sense. And I actually, this week during my live streams, have been asking around and saying, has anyone else been seeing something like this happening with their videos? And the answer has been a resounding yes. It seems that a lot of people this week have been saying, gee, I put out video series every week, and typically it gets 10,000 views, and this week it only has 6,000. I don't understand why. And it's funny because in the analytics page of YouTube, okay, where they basically track views and track all kinds of statistics, they put up a big message the other day, and it says, it's still up, it says, as of August 20th, our tracking of subscriptions and likes has been wrong. And so we're going to attempt to try to fix this, and by the way, it's been wrong all week. To which I say, now wait a minute, let's think about this. So you're going to tell me that subscriptions and likes are wrong, but not views? Why do I get the feeling that YouTube doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about? Or maybe they know there's a problem and they just don't want to admit it, okay? So from someone who daily uploads videos, who knows how these things usually perform, it makes 0 sense to me that all summer people have been saying, Phil, stop playing retro games. Phil, play new games. We're dying for the new games. The new games come out. I do a new midnight release. Launch day, I'm releasing videos of these games, alright, release day. And some of the, the part 1 doesn't even have the standard amount of views that I would expect from a new retail playthrough. But the videos that I was putting out, the old school shit that people were telling me that was boring and they're not watching, did get more views than that. It makes no fucking sense. So something's wrong with YouTube right now. So if you've noticed that this week, gee, my views are down, what the hell's going on? Or if you're watching videos and you're not just me, but anyone, you're a common YouTuber who you're watching and you're watching their videos and you're like, I don't understand why this particular week something seems fishy. It is. Something's going wrong with YouTube, and I don't know if we'll ever get those views back. You know what I mean? For me, it pisses me off because all summer I worked on a summer of retro and I did JRPGs and these things that took a while to beat, and finally I'm like, yes, we're coming back, great, 3 new games, cannot wait, I played them, I'm enjoying them all, and then to see this happen, it's like, come on, man, like really, of all times, this shit has to happen now, and it just pisses me off. But at the same time, don't get me wrong, I had a blast this week playing all the new games, I enjoyed them thoroughly, I had a shit ton of fun, so for me it's kind of a weigh and balance. Alright, I did get views, so I'm not going to complain, and I had a lot of fun playing the games. The games were great this week. So I still have a positive attitude. I'm getting a week off now where I get to go to Chicago and have fun. So for me, it's like, come back, next week. Come back refreshed. We got Killer is Dead that comes out this week that I'm going to be playing on Sunday, coming up a week from today, basically. So I got a great feeling. Rayman Legends, this month coming up, there's so much new content. Kingdom Hearts Collection, Puppeteer, if I get a chance to even do it at this point, I'm not sure. And of course you got GTA 5. So this month's going to be a huge month for new stuff. I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to it. And again, I'm pushing forward with a positive attitude. The point of me notifying you about these YouTube issues isn't to complain. It's to say, listen, be aware that it's happening so that you're not, I don't understand what's going on, and then you get all disappointed or deflated that it looks like people who you're watching, maybe their views are off or whatever. That's not the case. I really think YouTube's fucked up this week, okay? Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about Gamescom, because Gamescom, there was huge news that came out of it this week that I want to address. First of all, the PlayStation 4 finally got a release date. In the United States and or North America, it's November 15th. For Europe, it's going to be November 29th. And the first thing I want to say, and I said this on my streams, and by the way, let me check, because I haven't used this camera in a while. I want to see how much time I have left recording in this video. About 5 minutes, okay. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with these game companies that they can't do a worldwide same-day release. It was done for The Last of Us, so obviously it's not impossible to do. What it seems to me is that they don't want to do it. Either they're too lazy to logistically make it happen, or they've got some kind of a financial reason behind it. To me, it's bullshit. Why should one portion of the world get the new gaming console? That was Panda Lee. She texted me. She's on the train. She's on her way here. Why should one portion of the world get a gaming console a full 2 weeks before another portion? Now let's think about this realistically. So this means business-wise, anyone who's a Let's Player is 2 weeks behind if you live in Europe. Everyone else has already done playthroughs of the newest games that are coming out for this console. It's like, it's not fair. Even just competition, it's not fair. And I guess as a gamer, you know, maybe that's not that big of a concern if all you do is game, but if you make videos, you know, and you like to share your content, you know, you're disappointed that you're getting a delayed release. In addition to that, just waiting. I remember it used to be Japan gets the console first, then America. And I used to be so pissed off. Why? So if I lived in Europe right now, I'd be ripping pissed. And I know that there's lots of my viewers who are international viewers, and you're pissed. And I'm completely on the same page as you. There's no fucking reason why the console needs to come out so much sooner in one country or one region than another. It's bullshit, and Sony basically failed here. I think that they should have coordinated a worldwide release, and I'm tired of this old archaic mentality that it's easier to do it in one region than another, so we'll do it there. It's bullshit. It should have come out worldwide release same day. Okay, that's the bottom line. But that's good news, because now we know everyone's trying to pen into their schedules. All right, it comes out this day. Let's start getting our schedules together. And I have said this before, that John Rambo is extremely interested in attending release day for the new game consoles, and so I'm going to be coordinating with him to see if he can come that day to play the new games on PS4, alright? Xbox One still does not have a solid release date. I almost think they were waiting for Sony to announce their release date so that they can announce theirs, and now, basically the question is this. When is Xbox One going to release? Because if they release, let's say they release at the beginning of November, 2 weeks earlier, let's say the first week, they could possibly one-up PlayStation, because as you know, there's a lot of people out there who are just early adopters. They have to have the newest technology first, and they may rush to the store and say, well, Xbox One's out first, that's what I'm getting. In addition, the big one, the big thing that everyone's waiting for is Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is now, because we know when PS4 is coming out, is going to come out on PS4 before it comes out for Xbox 360 and PS3. Knowing that, a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to get it on PS4 because it comes out a few days earlier and it's next gen. Plus, it was announced at Gamescom that there'll be about an hour of extra exclusive mission content on the PS4. So right now, I guarantee you people are running out and reserving Watch Dogs for the PS4. But what if Xbox One comes out 1 or 2 weeks earlier? Watch Dogs is a launch title for Xbox One. They've said it will be out on launch day. So if that's the case, then you might be able to play Watch Dogs even earlier on Xbox One if Xbox One does indeed come out earlier than PS4. Now, the problem with Xbox is they announced that they were going to release in November, but what if they're not ready by the 15th? What if they have to do it later in the month? So now you're saying, so PS4 is going to come out in certain parts of the world on the 15th, but then maybe the Xbox One will come out the week in between there, and then it's going to come out, PS4 will come out in Europe at the end of the month. It's becoming a mess. It's becoming a jumbled mess, and everyone's waiting on the edge of their seat to see when Microsoft's going to announce when their console will be released. Okay, so the last thing I want to address are the launch titles for these consoles. Because I'll be honest, it was announced officially at Gamescom. They were finally announced this week. What will be launch titles? I'm kind of disappointed in some regards, and I'm excited in other regards. So let me explain. So, basically, the launch titles for PS4 are a shitload of games that are already out on other consoles. So you're talking Assassin's Creed 4. Wow. Battlefield 4. Wow. Batman, all games that have already come out previously the month before. All those games are going to be out in October, okay? Call of Duty, already going to be out in earlier November. So, do you really want to wait? Let's think about this. These are great, hot new games. You want to play them when they're new, because you know everyone's going to want to play them. Quite frankly, more people are going to buy these games on the current consoles than on the next gen, because most people won't be able to afford the next gen console, okay? Why would you wait? Why would you wait? Oh, I'm going to deny myself Assassin's Creed 4 for 4 weeks or 3 weeks or however long it is for you because I want to get it on the next gen console. Did they announce any kind of exclusive changes or to the content of this game on the PS4? No, they didn't. So for you to if you have the choice to buy the game on launch day, why would you wait to buy it on PS4 when there's been no announcement whatsoever outside of Watch Dogs that there would be exclusive content for any of these games? You'd be out of your mind just for a slight graphical bump. Well, everyone else played the game. There's 1,000 playthroughs all over the place, but I'm going to deny myself this for a month so that I can play it on the next gen. It makes no sense. There's no logical connection there besides, hype for the next gen, which is illogical, alright? So for the most part, these games are already going to be sold on the current gen consoles. So literally, when you look at the launch lineups for both PS4 and Xbox One, 90% of the games are games that are already going to be out. So How is that a launch lineup? And the answer is, it's fucking not. It's a cop-out. It's a way for them to say, oh look, we have this huge library of games coming out when the console launches. You're like, no you don't. What you have are a bunch of game shit. That's what I hate about using my old camera, is that it has a 30-minute time limit and it ran out. So I'm going to have to edit these videos together. But anyway, what you have is a lineup of 90% of games that are already released and old, and the majority of people who are interested in them already fucking played them. That's a cop-out. So when we really look at the launch lineups for the PS4 and the Xbox One, here's what you got. For PS4, you've got Knack, which is that kind of cool platformy action-adventure style game. It kind of reminds me of like a Ratchet and Clank or something like that, only it has really unique mechanics with apparently the main character. No one really knows how that's going to work yet. So, judgment remains to be seen. You got Killzone, Shadowfall, Fuckface, whatever the fuck it's called. It's another Killzone game. The past 2 Killzone games were boring and repetitive crap, and I guarantee you this one will be. Alright, Killzone is not a good series. Killzone is a console-exclusive FPS line for PlayStation. The only reason it was ever made was to compete with Halo. The only people who buy it are people who want to compete with Halo because they don't have a fucking Xbox. The series isn't that good. I never really liked it, and I've played every single one except for part 1. It's just not good, alright? Outside of that, really, when you look at it, the only real console-exclusive games, alright, so you've got, I think one of them is called Drive Club, and that's the one that's going to be the day one. You can, if you have PS Plus, you can download a version of it that's like a free-to-play version, but it's not a full-featured version of the game. It's like a semi-featured version of the game, but for the most part, it's a free game, alright? So you get Drive Club, so if you're a racing fan, maybe you'll like that, okay? But outside of that, Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is a launch title, and if it is coming out for PS4 on release day, which they say it is, and if the Xbox One doesn't come out before PS4, that means that'll be a launch title for it that's exclusive to it. So there's your launch lineup for PS4. If you actually look at all the other games, it's like indie games that are already out. Like I said, console games that are already out for other consoles. They've been out for weeks, if not months, and now they're being ported to the PS4 with no exclusive content, therefore no benefit to even do it. Why would you care about those games? I just don't understand it. So that's the PS4 launch lineup. Now compare that to the Xbox One. Again, similarly, 90% of the games coming out for Xbox One are games that have already been out for other consoles. But when you look at their exclusive games, you've got Dead Rising 3. That's a huge one. People love the Dead Rising franchise, one of the best sellers on Xbox ever. And it's a console exclusive this time around. However, some people are disappointed that the design of the game seems to be more survival horror. It has finally been announced that there is co-op from day one on the game, which a lot of people were concerned about when they saw the trailer at E3. It looked like it was single player, but no, there is going to be co-op supposedly from the beginning of the game, so that's cool. John Rambo and I are really looking forward to that, alright? Killer Instinct, wow. On day one, you're going to have a console exclusive fighting game that's a revival of a 15-plus-year-old franchise. The game hasn't been around in 100 years. People are really looking forward to the new Killer Instinct reboot, and that's going to be huge as well, I feel, okay? Rise. Rise is that game with the Romans. The Romans who are fighting, and it was weird because E3 was hard to tell if it's combat-based, is it more action-based, is it quick-time? It looked like there was a lot of quick-time events. No one really knows what it is, but it looks interesting. It's an interesting premise to be, whatever, a Roman soldier or whatever, and it's a console exclusive. I'm interested in that. And finally, Crimson Dragon. This is a game, it's from the makers of Panzer Dragoon. It looks like Panzer Dragoon in a modern era. And that's cool because the one limitation of a game like Panzer Dragoon was that the graphical engine had to, be tweaked for whatever to get a high frame rate, but also have the game not chop up in certain parts. With the new consoles, Xbox One should be able to handle this with high-res graphics. And we haven't played a game like that in quite some time. And I'm really excited to try out that game. So, if you want, and by the way, and if Xbox One does come out before PS4, which we don't know, it'll have Watch Dogs as that exclusive launch title, okay? So, when you look at the lineup side by side, it's a whole bunch of the same games that are being released on both, okay? And then you've got the console exclusives. And when you really line up those console exclusives, I think Xbox One has a much better launch lineup. You've got a fighting game, an action-adventure game, a flying kind of projectile game, and a zombie game, zombie survival horror, versus, on the other one, you've got that Knack action-adventure platformer, shitty generic FPS with Killzone, and that's about it. So, oh, and Drive Club, let's bring that back. Drive Club is console exclusive as well, but then again, I forgot to mention, I think there is like Forza, or one game, there is supposed to be some driving exclusive game to the Xbox One as well, so that kind of stacks up. Xbox One launch lineup looks better to me, alright? And again, I'm not just being an Xbox fanboy, you know how critical I've been of the Xbox in the past several weeks. But, not several weeks, but several months since all these things happened with Don Mattrick or whatever. But I'm looking forward more to the launch lineup of the Xbox One than I am to the launch lineup of the PS4. But in the long run, I get the feeling, looking at the games for PS4, such as Infamous Second Son, I think that the titles coming out for PS4 may end up being better than those for Xbox One. I'm not sure. But this is all the news coming out of Gamescom this week. I wanted to review it very briefly, okay? Final point, because I have to end, because pretty much I have to get this video editing and then go pick up my girlfriend from the train station. Game Informer wrote a great article this week. You should check it out if you read Game Informer. If not, I think the article's probably for free on the web, regarding what's happened with Microsoft and their gaming studios over the past several months regarding the Xbox One, how they flip-flopped several times on what the system was going to be, all the problems internally, the reorganization that Don Mattrick left. We finally have definitive answers on what happened with Don Mattrick. I read the article, and it's apparently supposed to be factual, so here's what the article says. Basically, the way that Microsoft was operating internally was that they had one division that was solely 100% the consoles. And that was the division that Don Mattrick was heading up. And he basically had creative control of the entire division, okay? And it was his baby. Now, I'm sure he didn't come up with all the ideas for Xbox One, the always online, the not being able to use used games, the things that people hated about Xbox One. I'm sure it wasn't all his ideas, but ultimately he was in charge of the project. So he was the one who greenlit everything, and he was the one who gave the project its direction. And so ultimately, when there was massive backlash from the public saying this is not what we want, this is absolutely anti-user, anti-gamer, what the fuck were you thinking when you came up with this, Don Mattrick basically took the heat for it, alright? Now what ended up happening was that Microsoft bigwigs, the guys at the top of the chain, said, you know what, here's the problem, we put too much power in the hands of too few people. You know, putting the entire Xbox One project in the hands of one group and ultimately one guy at the top of the chain was a mistake. So we need to fix this. What we're going to now do, we're going to divide up our interactive entertainment division into different divisions. So right now what they did, they went from one group that works on Xbox One and they split it up. This group will work on the hardware, this group will work on the software, this group will work on the online networking and the online capabilities of it. So basically they split it up into different divisions. And when they did this, they basically went to Don Mattrick and said, listen, here's what's happening. Obviously we made a mistake. We're not going to necessarily say, oh, it's all your fault, because it was our mistake to make it all under the shoulders of one group anyway. We're splitting it up. Would you like to stay? Because if you stay, we'll make you the head of one of the groups. And Don Mattrick said, well, this is basically a backwards move for me. I was in charge of everything. Now you're going to only make me in charge of one group. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's when he started looking outside for other opportunities, and he ended up becoming the CEO of Zynga Games. So basically, what we've been saying about Don Mattrick the whole time was true, but it wasn't like he was fired from Microsoft. Basically, the upper echelon of management at Microsoft decided they messed up by putting all of the responsibility of the Xbox One in one group. They decided to reorganize the company from within and split it into separate groups that would be responsible for separate things. So think of it, if you're focusing solely on the hardware, you can focus solely on the hardware and not have to worry about where the software is going, where the online strategy is going. And so they think that's going to work better. I don't know if it will, okay? But that's what they did. Basically, Don Mattrick saw it as it was going to be a demotion, and that's why he quit Microsoft. So that's it. That clarifies that story, okay? Alright, that's it. I know this was a very long channel update. I had quite a lot of information to cover. Thank you for watching. This week, I hope you enjoyed the conclusion of both Saints Row 4, Splinter Cell. I hope you liked the little mini playthrough of Battle Circuit. I hope you liked the playthrough of Get Rich or Die Gaming. And I hope you enjoy the daily vlogs that myself and Panda Lee will be attempting to upload from our hotel room in Chicago. We're going to try our best to entertain you and also keep you in the know on what we're doing in Chicago, okay? And we will be back. My girlfriend just said she will be at the train station in 25 minutes, so I need to get going. So I'll be back probably Saturday of next week for gameplay. If not, at the latest it'll be Sunday. I'll be coming back with The Bureau, XCOM Declassified continuing, and also Killer is Dead. It's the next Suda 51 game. I think a lot of people are going to like it, so very good, okay? Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good week. Enjoy yourself. I know a lot of people are going back to school. Some people are going to college for the first time. Good luck, enjoy, and when you get a chance, check out the videos. I'll see you guys in 1 week's time for new gameplay, and we'll continue on from there. Thanks a lot, everyone. Peace out. See you later. Bye-bye.